Hello, friends. It is so good to see you. Thanks for being here. It is time for class. What is our class today? Animal communication with tarot. Can we use tarot to communicate with our pets, both living and deceased? Yes, we can. I fully believe that we can, and tonight I'm going to show you how. If you are here in person, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching the replay, thanks for being here. Like the video, drop a comment. And for those of you who are here right now in person, would you do me the favor of commenting in if you have living pets in your home? Who are they? What are their names? What kind of animals are they? Let us know. And I will tell you, I am a very rare breed myself, in that I think there are very, very few tarot readers who do not at least have a cat. I have no pets. And that is not because I don't like them. I do. It is because I just don't have time, and I don't want to be a bad pet owner, you know? So I enjoy other people's pets, and I live in a community where we have lots of pets. So I do enjoy that. Okay, Pat has a kitty named Angel. Perfect. Dina has no pets. Now, whether or not you have pets, if you are a tarot person and you read for the public or you want to read for your friends, I can pretty much guarantee you that you will end up reading for animals. And there's, when we talk about how animals, and Dina, you're a tarot reader too. So you and I are like in that same rare breed, aren't we? Good. I'm not alone in the world. That's good. Oh, Ashley, you lost a pet last year. So we will be talking, and I know, Martha, you have recently had a sad loss. We will be talking about mediumship with our pets. We will be doing all of that. Dina, I do like animals. Of course you do. Of course you do. Oh my goodness, Jen Schultz, I didn't know this about you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. You're in West Palm. I knew that part. With 3 retired racing greyhounds. Bruni, Bodie, and Annie. That is so cool. So I used to live near a greyhound track. And so I knew a lot of people with retired greyhounds, and also like a lot of controversy around that whole sport and whatnot, not getting into that. But I do know about rescuing greyhounds, and I think it's really cool that you have that. And I'm glad you're here. Oh my goodness, Karen Schumann, thanks for being here. You live with your niece who has a 13-year-old Chihuahua named Chloe. I would love to have a Chihuahua. I think they're so cute. All right. Hey, Jill, good to see you. Peggy Lou, glad you're here. Martha, I've got my 13-year-old dog, Gracia, and 2 3-year-old cats named Bezos and Abrazos. My 14, almost 15-year-old dog, Bo, crossed the Rainbow Bridge on Tuesday morning. And so this is a timely session for you, certainly. We're so sorry for your loss. Nick, good to see you. Thanks for being a member. This topic is still very raw for me, as you know. Yes, I know you've had a loss, but I still have a cat named Honey, a cat named Mr. Orange, I love that, and a rescue dog named Chip. Perfect. Ben, okay, so my theory that tarot readers all had pets has just gone right out the window, because Dina doesn't, I don't, Ben doesn't, so my whole theory is out the window, and that actually makes me feel like less of an oddball, so that's good. Oh, Nick, missing my baby Rufus every day, of course. Febborn, I did not know this about you. Thanks for being a member. You have Maxwell, a golden retriever corgi mix. Oh my gosh, 12 years old, perfect. Wendy has a cat. Jill, and see, you're a tarot reader. You don't have pets either. See, my whole theory is out the window. There you go. But whether or not we have pets, and Wendy, did your missing cat come home? I would love to hear that they did. Okay, so when we talk about reading for and about animals, I feel like, Peggy Lou, I'm a cat person, but I have a dog too. Cool. No, you did have 2 cats, and now you have 1. Got it. I'm sorry. Okay. I feel like there are a number of ways. Tortoiseshell Moon, Kathy, I'm owned by 3 cats. I totally get it. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Michelle would be presenting at StaarCon virtually. Very happy to have you. All right. So when we talk about reading for animals, I feel like we can break that down into some different categories. One is going to be not reading for the animal themselves, but reading about animals. As you all know, people have a lot of questions about their animals. Should I get a dog? Should I get a cat? How would that be? Should I get this dog? Should I get this cat? Should I rescue this dog? Or, like, I've had clients who made an adoption that didn't go well, like handling difficult adoptions. So there's questions about our animals. That's one. There's actually the reading of the animal. What's going on with the animal? What is the animal thinking, feeling, experiencing? And then there's the mediumship portion, which is exactly the same thing, reading for the animal on the other side. Now, I recognize that when we talk, how do I want to say this? When we talk about tarot, one of the things that I really like is when things are verifiable. If I give you a reading and you say, yes, these things are all true, okay, good. How can we verify what's going on with a pet? Well, let me tell you a story, and this will sort of get us into it. This was quite some years ago, many, many years ago, when I was still, my office was in Niantic, Connecticut. For those of you who have followed my career, you know how long ago that was. And a person had an issue with their dog. They had taken their dog to the vet. The vet couldn't figure it out. The dog was sick and no one could figure it out. So they asked me, and I will still tell you which card came up. I can still remember. It was the 4 of Cups. Y'all know what the 4 of Cups looks like traditionally, and it was a traditional 4 of Cups. Let me go over to CardCam and see if I can quickly find the 4 of Cups to illustrate this story. So there were probably some other cards that came up too, but I remember the 4 of Cups being very operative because as I was looking at it, I was seeing refusing water. What's going on in the image of the 4 of Cups. If I can find the 4 of Cups, is we're being offered 4 different cups and we don't want any of them. And I immediately saw that as the dog doesn't like, there it is. I immediately saw it as the dog doesn't want the water. And I asked, what kind of water are you giving the dog? And they were giving the dog tap water. And I said, you're going to hate this, but give the dog bottled water. Dog got better. The vet verified, after that, the vet verified that the dog had an allergy to something that was in the water. And took my number and called me from time to time when he was stumped with other pets. So it was that simple. It is that simple. Tina, could the 10 of Cups mean the Rainbow Bridge? I mean, anything can mean anything in context, right? So perhaps. Oh my goodness. Michelle has 9 cats, 3 dogs, and kids and grandkids. Martha, my sympathies to all who are missing their fur babies. I feel your pain. So let's start with the fact that no matter what tarot deck you're working with, right? You could be working with any deck at all. And you know what you're going to find in these images? Most likely animals. There will be animals in the images. Now, there are some images that traditionally have an animal, like strength, for example. But no matter what deck you work with, you are going to see animals in the deck. And the first thing I'm going to say, when you're doing a reading, especially if it's a general reading and you're just trying to get information in the beginning of the reading, if you see any card at all, any deck you're using, if you see any card at all that has an image of an animal, that might be significant. So, for example, the knights are all on horses, and you're going to use your intuition and, really sort of feel like, am I called to that animal? Like, reading about the animal on the card is an option. Oh my gosh, Martha, I once had 9 cats, 5 dogs, and a couple of parakeets. It was zooey, but fun. Yeah, I bet. That sounds festive. Hey, Barbie, good to see you. So we recognize that we may, like, how many times have I seen this card come up for a dog lover? And so if I am, right, Dina, the fool's little dog. Right, the fool has a dog. Right. So if I'm reading for someone, even if there's been no questions about animals, if this card comes up, I may think about real estate. I may think about your grandfather, but I may also think about your dog. So that's a thing, right? Now, I will tell you very specifically that for me, strength is the card of the animal lover. Very often, if I see strength and I don't have any other context for it, remembering that the Page of Cups has a fish. Right, Dina Moskowitz, yes, the moon also, right. See, you're thinking, right, that there are cards with which animals are associated. And I would argue that even if you are reading with a deck that doesn't illustrate it in the traditional way, like suppose it's a fool without a dog, but if you're thinking about the fool's dog when the fool comes up, you still may want to ask about a dog. So yeah. And the number of times, like, people, and here's the other thing, like, if you know someone's an equestrian and they're getting a lot of knights, you want to play with that. Wendy, this is why I like different decks. Now, this is good, Dina. There are animal-themed decks. There are many, many animal-themed decks. Y'all know I play with the weird cats. I like that deck. I love Lisa Hunt's Animals Divine Tarot. But in all honesty, for professional reading, I don't love it. I don't love it. But you bring up a good point that, and I wonder, like, if you were specifically had a mission to do a reading for a cat, would it be best to use a cat deck, or for a dog deck, or whatever? Like, I've never really thought about that, but it's an interesting question. And because these decks exist, it's certainly an option. Okay, now, so sometimes our clients don't talk to us about animals, but we see animals in their cards and we mention them. Sometimes people will talk about their animals, and we have a very good example here. I will let you know we're going to do some readings, but much like we do with classes versus live reading sessions, I'm not going to even try to answer everyone's questions. I'm going to pick and choose your questions based on what I think will provide the best teaching experience. So I'm going to use your questions for practice, so you can see, for example. And so recognizing there are 3 different kinds of pet readings as I think about it. One is the strategy for handling your pets. 2 is checking in with your living pets and what's up with them and how they're doing. And 3 is reading for your pets who are on the other side. With that in mind, go ahead and put your questions in. And again, I won't get to all of them. I will choose the ones that sort of fit what I'm trying to illustrate. But I want to start with Mixuir, Michelle in Toronto, who was not able to be with us tonight. They'll watch the replay. But they had reached out to me to ask if if I would be doing any readings for pets, and if they could put in a request for said pet readings, and I said, go ahead. And it's actually perfect. It turned out, I didn't know what the question was going to be, but it turned out to be absolutely perfect for this first example, reading about animals. So here it is. The vet just emailed me that Greta and Garbo's 6-month geriatric checkups are due. Apparently, this is something after 10 years old. They said I could take them just once a year as normal instead of twice a year because I can't afford $900 right now. Understood. Are the cats okay if I just do once a year? I like this vet, but they're expensive and don't offer payment plans. Should I find a cheaper vet? I do want to get Greta's teeth checked to make sure she doesn't need any more surgery, but otherwise, is once a year okay? For now. That could change as my finances change. So, you know, I understand why we increase when they get older because problems can crop up. I understand that. But I also understand that is expensive. Oh my goodness. So let's take a look, and this is prognosticative. And the thing I would want to say to my client here is to recognize that this is not a guarantee against health issues that crop up in that 6-month period. But, you know, going twice a year is not a guarantee either. So let's see. Would it be okay in this time to bring the cats once a year? It's hard because, like, the purpose of those visits is to see what issues are cropping up. But, you know, do we think that there are issues cropping up? Not necessarily. And I mean, the fact is, the reality is the reality. I mean, it would be nice if you could go to the river and catch fresh fish for your kitties as well, and serve that fish to them in sterling silver because, you know, cats are precious. But we can only do what we can do. And I think you have to know that if you're doing your best, you're doing your best, and that has to be okay. Now, should you try to find a cheaper vet? I know you like this vet. But I also know an expensive vet without payment plans, that feels funky to me. Would you be happy with a less expensive vet? Maybe. And the thing is, like, I feel like this is causing you to feel guilt. I feel like the biggest danger here is it's causing you to feel guilty. I would say looking for that cheaper vet is probably a really good idea to avoid the guilt more than anything else. All right, so there was an example of reading about someone's pets, and it's just like any other reading, right? There's nothing specific about that. You know, it's just the same. Now, let's talk about reading for animals who are living. And, you know, this is such an interesting thing because, like, when I do this with people, getting inside people's heads with the cards, what's going on with this person? What's going on with that person? Do I do this? Damn, yes, I do. But do some people find that an ethical issue? Also, yes. Yes. It's an ethical issue because you're getting information about someone without their permission. Does that same ethical issue apply with our animals? I mean, for me, not at all, because I don't have an ethical issue doing it with people because I am always doing it for the highest and best good. You know, I'm always trying to do it in a loving and protective way. And I feel like with our animals, since they cannot, in the language we speak, tell us, I think this has got to be helpful. Like, I don't see this as an ethical issue, but your mileage might vary. Do you see it as an ethical issue? That's an interesting question. So let's go through. A few people have put in questions about their living animals. So let's go through and pick up a couple of those questions so we can see what that looks like. Okay. Oh, I love this. Tortoiseshell moon, you have done something, I didn't think about this, and it's wise. There's a fourth thing. Animals are not just our pets, are they? Tortoiseshell moon says, there is a robin who visits my garden every day. I say hello to him, and he is happy to stay nearby before flying off. I sometimes wonder what he is saying to me or if he's bringing a message. And this is actually, thank you so much for being here, Kathy, and for that, because I might have spaced on that one, and that's important. That's important because we have animal messengers around us. And when it comes to birds, very often I feel like birds bring a message from those who have passed on. So how would I handle this? I'm going to go ahead and do Kathy's question right here. So we're going to say this robin, is this robin bringing a spiritual message from one who has passed on? I would say no. I would say that's not the case. And as regards my ethical question, Ben, I so appreciate you. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. Can't wait to see you at StaarCon. Nope. My philosophy is if you have a vested interest, you can ask. Yeah, I think so too. I would read if someone asked me about their child, for example. So for me, it's valid. Same. All right. So now back to Tortoiseshell Moon's, Kathy's, Robin. So is this robin, is there anything spiritual that we can take away from this? Is there a message from the robin that is spiritual? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say it's a message of patience and persistence. Why is the robin bringing this message? Because apparently it's thought that you need it. And the robin is demonstrating patience and persistence and thinks that you need to do that too. Now, is this coming directly from the bird? Like the bird sees you and that's what's going on? Or is it coming from something greater in a universal sense? I'm going to say something greater in a universal sense. Not specifically a spirit who has passed on, a loved one who has passed on, but angels, guides, guardians, whatever, sending the bird to give you this message. That's what I think. Let me know what you think, if that makes sense. And that's how I would do that. Once again, the trick is just ask the questions and read the cards. I do a million of these kinds of workshops, but eventually you all are going to figure out the trick, which is just ask the questions and read the cards. Oh, Ben, speaking of StaarCon, presentation will be with you by Monday. Excellent. Ben will be a presenter at StaarCon 5. Cannot wait. Okay. And Peggy Lou, yeah, exactly. I have an owl that visits me and hoots back to me. I like to think of animals in the wild as messengers, omens, and spirit guides. Absolutely. And we can read on them to sort of see who sent them and what the message is. Right, Dina. See, Dina, you have a very specific skill with the cards, and I've noticed this. You are really good at, like, okay, if I say, which cards have animals on them traditionally? It's going to be Dina who's like, yeah, it's this one and this one and this one and this one. You're good that way. That's a good skill. I don't really have that skill. I have to think about it. Like I just noticed the black cat on the Queen of Wands, for example. Oh my gosh, Nick, a moth just fluttered around at my feet. That's great. But yeah, paying attention to how the natural world is interacting with us, I think it's good to know. Did he die at your feet, Nick? They do only live for 24 hours, so that's not necessarily unusual. Okay. So. Oh, Jill, that's so sweet. I found feathers from my lovebird who died about 4 years ago on top of my placemat on the dining room table and also under a picture he liked to sit on. These areas are cleaned all the time, right? And I think that is a really good point. I fully believe, and I realize the nuns at Catholic school would not like to hear this, but I fully believe that our pets have souls just like we do, and that they do watch over us. So the idea that your lovebird would be sending you messages, this does not surprise me at all. Not at all. Okay, so here we go. Karen Schumann. Chloe is a sweet chihuahua, but I don't think she sees me as part of her pack. What does Chloe think about me being in her home? This is a great question. Let's take a look. How does Chloe feel about you being in the home? And what you got to do when you do this kind of reading is you got to put yourself in the headspace of the chihuahua. Part of that is psychic, like really attuning to a chihuahua, small dog, excitable dog, right? And part of it, so part of it is that sort of psychic, intuitive, spiritual thing where you are tuning yourself in that way. The other part of it is sort of logical and contextual, where you're going to think about, from like the dog doesn't have a car. So if the chariot comes up, the dog is not buying a car, right? Like you're going to interpret the cards in context for the individual you're reading for. In every context, especially including this one. So Chloe the Chihuahua, how does Chloe the Chihuahua feel about you? I'm gonna say, oh, there's that fool's dog. I'm gonna say that Chloe does not dislike you at all. I think Chloe is comfortable with you because people that Chloe is comfortable with are comfortable with you. I do not think Chloe has a real issue. But Chloe can sometimes be playful and sometimes be reserved. Why is Chloe so reserved around you specifically? Chloe's waiting for something from you. Chloe is waiting for some sort of communication from you. What kind of communication does Chloe want? Chloe, oh, and we have a bunny on the Queen of Wands. I mean, Queen of Pentacles, just saying. I think Chloe wants you to interact more, whether that's giving treats or playing with toys. Chloe wants you to give her things. Chloe's looking for you to pay the tax. And Chloe may refuse the tax. So you may be like with the treats, trying to give Chloe the treats. And Chloe's like, no, I don't want your treats. Keep trying. Chloe is playing hard to get, but Chloe wants that connection with you. That's what I think. Let me know what you think. All right. Yeah, Chloe wants treats. Chloe wants your attention. Yep. Hey, Trey, good to see you. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Dina, Pentacles, round biscuits. Chloe wants to be wooed. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going. So you see it. What I'm loving about this is y'all are seeing it. We're all seeing the same thing. So this is good. This is good. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, here's a different kind of question. I have decided not to try to separate these out because that'll drive me crazy and take too long. I will see the questions. If I think it's a fun question, I'm sorry, some of this is hard. Fun is not the right word. I apologize for that. If I think it is a question that will bring some enlightenment to the topic, I'll do it and we'll talk about what kind of question this is. This is another question that is more about the pet, not so much what the pet is feeling or thinking or wanting, but about the pet. From Trey. Thanks for being a member for more than a year, Trey. My cat is 14. I've never wanted to ask for a reading because I felt like she's not going to be around for much longer. Will she pass peacefully, and will I see her again? Okay, so first of all, let's look at your kitty. Just look at your kitty in general. I mean, at 14, if she went now, it would be considered appropriate age-wise. But if I look at these two cards, 5 of Pentacles reversed, 8 of Pentacles reversed, I'm guessing age 15 to 18 is what you're looking at. That is my guess. She may be healthier than we think. Yeah, she may be. Now, if I look at her mindset, like what's she thinking? She's happy. She didn't want to be going anywhere. She's happy. So when it is her time, whenever that is. Oh, Wendy, what makes you come to that number? It was a 5 and an 8. And she's 14 now. So 14, 15, 18, 5, 8. That's what I did. Oh, Trey, that's her. She's also a Virgo. Lots of earth cards, funnily enough. Yes, see, this is it. We can read for our pets. And thank you for asking that question, Wendy. I really like it when people ask my thinking process on these things, right? So now, when she finally does pass, what can we know about this? I think you will have clear warning and will be able to make sure one way or the other that her passing is peaceful. And will you see her again? So there's a few things there. Might she come back? Because I think that happens too. And here's an interesting thing. Let me just share this one crazy story with you real quick before I get back to you, Trey. I have a friend, she did a lot of dog rescue and she has a lot of dogs. Her vet, now this is a vet, 8 years of medical school or something. My friend had a dog that she really loved named Petunia, who passed away of cancer, very unfortunate. The vet was sad, everyone was sad. Then Brenda gets a new rescue of the same breed, and the vet tells her, I am very sure this is Petunia reincarnated. The vet, right? How cool is that? Like if a vet believes that, that's probably a thing. Right. Isn't that a great story? I love that story. So, I mean, obviously there's no medical proof of that, but I just thought that was so cool. And of course I did a reading and felt the same way, but whatever. So Trey says, a psychic I actually like said the same thing, that pets reincarnate so you can have the same pet in the same life. Yes. So do we think that will happen for you? Unclear. I think it's too soon to say. I don't know. And it could just be seeing her again in heaven. Yes. Which I also am very sure happens. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's scroll back and see. Okay, we're going to do Febborn and Liz Harrison and then Nick. Okay, Febborn. Max has 3 lumps. The vet says it's benign fatty tissues. Is he okay? And can you do a general on his personality? Sure. Okay. And again, there's got to be a disclaimer with health issues, right? That, right? Okay. So do I think... So I don't love these cards. For Max. As far as the tumors are concerned, I'm not worried about that. is there something else going on with Max? No, Max is happy. Max is happy enough. So I didn't like those earlier cards. What was going on with those cards? There is something up here. I mean, I think Max is overall fine, but there is something up. Has something recently happened, like even in the past couple of days? Something coming into the house that smells different, or something else going on that is different in the household. I feel like Max, I don't think it's about the tumors. I think the tumors are fine. I think the vet is correct, but Max is not quite settled and not quite happy. And it seems to be with something that's going on in the house in the past little bit. What does Max need in order to settle? Lots of love. And I have to say, with that Ace of Cups reversed and the King of Cups here, make sure Max is drinking his water and likes his water. And make sure his water bowl gets washed really well between fills. Just that. Max's personality, Max is a lovey, but only on his terms. He's a love, but on his terms. That's what I think. So let me know what you think. Does that make sense to you? All right. Okay. Hey, Medium That Rocks. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. My cat, Mahi, had to go to the vet. I love that you have a cat named after a fish. I mean, that may not be why you named the cat that, but that was my reference. She got a shot, meds, and a cone. I don't think she's happy. Yeah, I wouldn't be. What can I do for her? Very little, man. Very little. She is going to be miserable for a minute. She'll be okay. But, you know, do the normal things, but there is very little you can do. She is not going to be happy until that cone comes off. All right. I want to go back. Okay. Liz Harrison, here we go. How can I help my dog Piper with her journey in this life? And what lesson is she meant to learn for her own growth? She's taught me so much. How can I help her with her experience here? That is a beautiful question. Did you all hear that question? Oh, Febborn, he's shy and stubborn. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay. Okay, Liz Harrison. Piper. You don't have to do anything different. You are doing exactly what you need to do. Do not change a thing. Do not change a thing. What is she learning? I mean, she's learning to trust. I think the whole thing is trust and social contract. What I'm supposed to do, what you're supposed to do. I think that's kind of what she's about right now. And Nick. And Liz, February, Nick, thank you for being members. Is my living cat Honey okay since we lost her brother Rufus? She misses Rufus just like you do. But she will be okay, and I feel like the two of you need to heal together. Like the two of you need to have that conversation. And I feel like you're both missing Rufus, but the two of you can find so much comfort with each other if you would let that happen. Okay. Martha Vink, good to see you. Thanks for being here. How is Gracia feeling since Bo's death? Is her health okay? And here we go. Now in this, we're going to do both reading for a living pet and reading for a pet who has passed on. So first with a living pet. How is Gracia feeling since Bo's death? Is it possible that for Gracia, Bo was a pain? Because I feel like she recognizes that Bo isn't there, but seems pretty okay with it, honestly. Honestly. Oh, Barbie Bird, that was so nice. Oh, Liz, that was so helpful. Thank you. The social contract is spot on as she struggles with boundaries and understanding how to interact. Incredible. Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. So now, this is first time in this session, we are going to do the mediumship. And the mediumship, for me, is very much like with people. You know, if there are questions like about the passing. And so I'm going to run through this whole thing. And to be fair, Martha and I did communicate about this when it was happening, when it happened. And I did some reading on it then prior, which I don't really remember, but I know I did. But let's see what comes up. All right. So prior to Beau's passing, Beau was not feeling well, but trying to be a good sport. And very like, there is no, like, you used the word guilt. Beau passed so suddenly and passed at home. And so you're sad, guilty, it was unexpected, all of that. Martha, yes, Beau was often sitting on her at night, would sometimes pee on her when they were out on potty breaks, so he could be a pain. I think Gracia is just as happy to not be sat on and peed on. You know, I really do. I really do. No shade on Beau, but I think Gracia is okay with this. Now, what I see here is there is absolutely nothing for you to feel guilty about. Beau was not feeling well, but Beau was very happy to go through this process with you exactly the way it went. And the passing was pretty easy at the end. Once Beau was on the other side, Beau was a little confused and stuck for a minute. What the heck? Where am I? But Beau was very quickly greeted, I want to say, by past family pets. It's at least one of those. And maybe some family members on the other side as well. So Beau was caught. Beau was, you know, we talk about catching babies when they're born. I sort of see on the other side, when we get to the other side, there's someone there to catch us as well. That's sort of how I see it. Beau was caught. And his message is, you loved me when I was alive, and where I am now, I am loved and cared for, and I'll see you again. And there it is. I asked my dog Risa and my dad to meet him. I absolutely believe Risa was there. Risa? I absolutely believe Risa was there. And I'm guessing your dad may have been as well. So yeah, there it is. So just like with people, that's really what it comes down to, just like with people. Okay. And Wendy Robeson, let's do this one. Thanks for being a member and a moderator. Is Tang, my cat now I still have, sad without Yin Yang, my other cat who is missing? He is refusing to eat. I don't know if it's sorrow. Why is Tang refusing to eat? I'm not sure if this is related. I would say let's go with the idea it's not related, and let's try washing the food bowls, fresh food, different food, new food. Let's play with that, and let's go to the vet if we're not eating within the next few days, because I'm not sure that's what this is. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we're going to do mediumship for Barbie Bird. Thanks for being here. Barbie Bird, thanks for being a member. How is my beloved cat Magic doing on the other side? How does he feel about his passing? I know my dad still thinks about it as well. Okay, so first of all, looking at Magic in life, Magic was intense. When magic was happy, magic was happy. When magic wasn't happy, we all knew it. Nick, that's a good idea for reals. Let's do that. Ah, he had a past. Magic had a past. That makes sense. That makes sense. A jaded past. When we look at magic's passing, it was time and it was appropriate and it feels peaceful. And when we look at magic on the other side, again, there's confusion. There's confusion, but then greeted by, I want to say, one of his kind. I want to say he got greeted by another cat, maybe that came from your family as well. Nothing to worry about. Misses you, like that is a thing. Magic misses you. How does he feel about his passing? He's fine. He misses your dad too. He misses you, he misses your dad, but he's having fun where he is. And appreciates that where he is, there's no real rules. He was not really fond of the rules. It was a bad accident, so I don't know. I just felt really bad for how it happened, but he was old as well. It was fine. It was fine. He was all right. He was all right. It was okay. Okay. And Michelle Metheny, my Aries cat disappeared, but no one has seen him. I feel he ran away a few months back. Do the cards see anything? And that's another thing that we end up doing, is missing animals when animals are missing. That's another way that we use the cards to do readings for pets. You know, so I came in here thinking there were 3 ways, and now I'm like, oh, there's more, there's 5, there's 6, there's maybe countless ways that we can use the cards to read for and about the animals in our lives. Okay, now, your Aries cat, Michelle. I think your Aries cat has been cheating on you and found another home. I think they're fine, but I think they're living elsewhere. Cats can do that. All right. So we are in our last 12 minutes at this point. So questions that you have about these techniques and ideas that you might have about how you will do this. Will you read for your pets? Will you read for other people's pets? Do you have pets in spirit that you will read for? What questions do you have about that? About feeling empowered to do this for yourself and for others. Dan, I just did, Michelle, I just did that question just now. Martha, you're so sweet. Yeah, I know. So talk to me about your experiences reading for pets. And do you feel more empowered in this way? Is that a thing? Dan, I know. Okay, yeah, there it is. So then my next question is there a way, okay, we have talked about, with our living pets, we have talked about receiving messages from them. Is there a way that we can give messages to our animals more effectively? Dina, never been asked, but now I have a guideline. Good. Karen, could the horses on the nights be vehicles or encounter with bigger animals? Sure, absolutely, yes. Barbie Bird, I feel more confident to try to read for Carl, but worry I'll project my feelings, but that's a different issue. And true with any reading, that we have to worry about that. But I know we actually have a Carl question here. Carl, What can I do to help him? And I know he is a problematic cat. I do understand this. What can I do? What can I be doing to help him? He is still a little aggressive with me. Is he okay here? Is he adjusting well? And what can I do more or less of? So this is actually an important question. It's the only one of its kind that we've done having to do with behaviors. When animals have difficult behaviors, what to do about it, what to know about it. So how's Carl feeling being there? Carl is still affirming his dominance. Carl is being aggressive because we're in a new place. I realize you've been there since like August or something. I don't know. I don't really know when it was, but it's a new place. And he's establishing dominance because he's the alpha. And I think that's his personality. You see a little cat, but you have to realize he is a fierce jungle king. Yeah, it was August, September. Yeah. And so he is still establishing that he is the king. How does he feel about you? I feel like this is less of a loving relationship and more a master-servant relationship, and you're the servant. So how do you serve him well? He does want cuddling and loving on his terms. And, he wants all his things. And he needs to see you serving him. He needs to see you serving and subservient, whatever that means to a cat. Like I want to say lie on the floor with him. Be smaller than he is. And will he get to a point where he is just more happy and playful and less aggressive? It will take some time. But eventually, yes. Eventually. And don't think he's not happy. He's happy enough. Okay. So, Sachiste, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. We're doing animal communication. I'm guessing you don't, I'm guessing this is not, I'm guessing you're not in a love relationship with an animal. I'm guessing. So we're not doing that, right? Not today. That's not what we're doing here today. We're doing animal communication. Yeah, I think that's what you got to do, Barbie. Bow down to the altar of Carl. Carl is all that. And Carl wants to make sure you understand that Carl is all that. All right. How do we send messages to our animals? Our animals don't read tarot. The cards may tell us what messages to send them, but I'm going to share with you a bit of wisdom that I learned from the great Mitchell Osborne. And if you don't know who Mitchell Osborne is, check him out. He is a dedicated StaarCon person. You will see him at StaarCon. He is presenting. And he's been with us since the beginning, a good friend. And I just love this dude. And he does great animal communication stuff. And I learned this from him. Animals are psychic and they see pictures in our brains, not words. And this is interesting because tarot is pictures too. But they don't understand tarot pictures. They understand pictures of what they know. So when you want your pet to do something, psychically send them a picture of what it is you want them to do. You want your dog to be on the dog bed? Send the dog a picture of the dog on the dog bed. And this is where we get into trouble because we often do the don't get on the couch, but we're sending a picture of the dog on the couch. What are they going to do? Send a picture of the dog on the dog bed. I learned that from Mitchell. I think that's pretty wise. I think it's good. Okay. Dan, I feel like the servant to our kitty cats, right? Yep. There you go. Okay. Dora, good to see you. How you doing? Yeah. My dog Wicca died last weekend. I'm so sorry. There's been so much pet loss recently. My dog Wicca died last weekend. I would like to know how my other dog, Gaia, is coping with the loss, although they were not best friends. Okay, the living dog is actually sad. Oh, hang on, sorry. The living dog is sad. But sad primarily because you're sad. Picking up on your sadness. Picking up on your sadness. And so let the dog comfort you. Let the dog bring you comfort, and you know, it is a loss, but all will be well. Nick, I'm scared Rufus is going to be reincarnated, but I won't find him or miss him or something. So let's take a look. Rufus, do we think Rufus is going to come back to you in this lifetime? I think so, but not for a while. When I look at Rufus on the other side, Rufus is going to take some time there. And Rufus wants to work with you psychically. Rufus was your familiar in this lifetime, wants to still be. You should do some more connecting with Rufus on the other side, because Rufus will work with you. Let Rufus become a spirit guide. Ah, Dora, this makes total sense. Thank you. Well, thank you. Good to see you. All right, we are in our final few moments. Whatever questions, ideas you have, now's the time to share them. Just to let you know what else is coming up this month. What else is coming up this month? Members only. We have a members only live stream. If you are a member of this channel, on November 25th, we're doing readings for your family, and basically we're gonna look at family dynamics and dysfunction with the cards. So that will be fun or interesting. Ah, Martha, that's so interesting about pet reincarnation. I've thought my cat Bezos was my cat Twinkie. Makes sense. Makes sense. Ah, Trey, this was so fun. Thanks for this. Yes, well, thank you. And Barbie, what a good exercise. I went through my Rider-Waite-Smith and there were over 20 cards with animals, so a lot to play with. And Peggy Lou, so stoked to be going to StaarCon 5. Yeah, StaarCon is coming. The link is in the description. You really want to be part of StaarCon. Whether you come in person or online, 1 day, 2 days, or all 3 days, you want to be there. All right, and Wendy, this was so eye-opening for me. Thank you. Thank you. And Nick, don't forget to hit like, everyone. Thank you for that. Jen Schultz. The IT John is cooking dinner. Just to let you know, that was the fire alarm. He's not burning anything. I promise, he's a great cook. In our new apartment, the fire alarm goes off if you like turn the oven on. It's crazy. But anyway, that's what that was. Ah, Martha, I really want to learn more about reading the cards. Good thing I'm coming to StaarCon. I am so excited about that. I am so excited about that. What are you guys having? I'm not sure, but I think it's a pasta dish, which I would be really happy for, because this girl loves some pasta. I will tell you what. Trey, you can't mention food without me being curious. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Wendy, I was ready to call the fire department. All right, my friends. Thank you so very much for being a part of this community. A special shout out to the members and the moderators. For those who put questions in and I didn't get to, I am so sorry. You know, when I do live reading sessions, I like to get to everyone. Obviously in a class, it's a different format, but thank you for participating. Right, so a lot of pasta lovers here, right? So we love pets and pasta, but obviously not necessarily in exactly the same place. Right? All right, my friends. Thank you so much. Jill, we haven't seen you in so long. December 8th is our next Panera. I will really look forward to seeing you there. And y'all, if you have a StaarCon 2024 ticket, Tarot Thanksgiving. Serena Fox and I, in her lounge, Mystic Lounging with Serena Fox, she and I are doing Tarot Thanksgiving also on November 25th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time for that, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for our members only. Join us. All right. Your cats like pasta too, Michelle. That's great. Medium that rocks. You're the medium that rocks. All right. My friends, it's not about the pasta. That's so funny. All right. My friends, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow morning or tomorrow at noon. Link is already up with your Friday weekly wrap up. Take really good care. Thanks so much.